This video is for you who's running an e-commerce business and you feel like you're doing a lot of work, but you also feel like the needle just ain't moving forward. Your business is not really growing, right? So in today's video, I want to talk about time and attention and where to actually put your focus in the business to make sure that you actually achieve the goals you set for yourself, right? So in the past 5 years, I've talked to a lot of different e-commerce brand owners and also been fortunate enough to work with a lot of different e-commerce brands and been able to see, behind the scenes, what are these people focusing on? What's the difference between someone doing 7 figures and someone who's just, stuck at the same place for years on end? What's the difference from those who are achieving a lot of things and actually getting success in the business versus those who are not? What are these people doing differently, right? And a lot of times it just comes down to time and attention. Where do you actually put your focus in the business and are you mindful of it? And also another reason why I'm making this video is because in the last couple of weeks, I've talked to a lot of different e-commerce brands. Right now we're booking a lot of meetings for the agency, which is great. So right now I'm averaging around 4 to 10 meetings every single day. And there's a pretty stark contrast to, those who are achieving a lot and those who aren't. And I've had to say no to a lot of different business owners purely because they're just not at the level of where, we want them to be at before we come in and then aggressively help them scale up the business. So also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Rasmus. I'm the owner of Minix and we're a performance marketing agency that specializes in helping e-commerce brands scale through paid ads and UGC videos on a performance-based approach. All right, so let's break it down. As a business owner, right, you need to be T-shaped. You need to be more of a generalist, which means that you have a lot of hats on, there's a lot of stuff going around, and you need to be somewhat capable in a lot of different things. And usually there's one thing where you're sort of I-shaped that you're really, really good at. But as you keep growing, where do you put your focus? What is it that you as a business owner should be focusing on? And really it's what's called IPAs. It's income producing activities. IPAs should be your main priority, especially when you scale your business, because this is what actually allowing you to keep scaling, keep growing, right? Because revenue is what pays all your bills, right? That's what pays your salary, your staff, cost of goods sold, your products, warehouse, softwares, everything in your business you pay off with revenue. So as you keep scaling, IPAs is what your focus should be on if that's what you're really good at. And for the most part, it is. That's why you keep hiring staff so you can buy back time and then actually focus even more on your IPAs, right? So you can keep on having, 80, 90% of your day be solely dedicated to IPAs. And that also means that you should have hours in the day that are purely dedicated to income producing activities. And this also means that you block out any social media, you put your phone away and you just get into work mode. So in the e-commerce space, there's really 3 big buckets you can focus on when it comes to income producing activities. There's customer acquisition, so getting a new customer. There's customer retention, so making sure that your new customers actually buys again and again and again from your business. And then there's product, right? Which is what customers buy. And in this video, I want to focus on specifically customer acquisition and customer retention, because a lot of what I see is that a lot of business owners will get stuck on focusing on product when that's actually not what you should be focusing on. Because if you focus all your time on product, right, and you're not making 7, 8, 9 figures a year, there's really no point of you to be focusing on product because there's just not enough people actually buying them in the first place. So you need to be stressed about acquiring new customers and having existing customers buy again from you, not trying to optimize whatever experience your customers are getting when they actually buy a product, right? Because it's a given that you obviously need a good product and you need a good experience, you need a good customer experience, but as long as that's sort of handled, right, that's not the most difficult thing in the world, then your attention should just be going to customer acquisition and customer retention. So let's get straight into it, right? Customer acquisition. There's really 2 things you can focus on that will give you high leverage. First is conversion rate. And the second thing is increasing average order value. And specifically on conversion rate, I see way too many brands with a conversion rate below 1%, like 0.2, 0.3, 0.4%. And they're actually not even aware of how big of a disservice they're making themselves by having such a low conversion rate. So just from personal experience, I would say most likely your attention, if you're going to focus on customer acquisition, your main focus should be on increasing the conversion rate on the website. Just from all the calls I have with other e-commerce owners, they just don't realize how big of a deal conversion rate actually is. Like, let's say you're selling that's nothing like out of the ordinary, right? Like clothing, makeup, furniture, something like that, right? Like a common category, a common industry, right? If your conversion rate right now is sitting at a 0.7 or 0.5, but the industry average is 2%, that's a massive leverage for you to focus on, because without touching anything in your business, you'll be making 3 to 4 times the amount of money by not changing a single other thing in your business. So your marketing spend could be the exact same, right? If you're spending 10 grand on ads right now a month and your total revenue is 30K, you'd be going from 30K to making 90 to 120 grand a month just by increasing your conversion rate to industry standards. And not only that, but if you're running ads on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, those ads will also start performing way better. And instead of spending 10 grand a month, now you're suddenly going from a 2x to a 3.5x return on ad spend, which allows you to scale even further. So now you can take your ad spend from 10 grand to 30, 40, 50 grand a month. And then that will probably mean that your top line revenue will go from not only 90 to 120K a month, but to maybe 200K a month. So that's a massive lever that you need to be focusing on. And if you're sitting here right now thinking, oh, but Rasmus, I don't know how to increase my conversion rate, go figure it out. Go invest in yourself. You already put a ton of money into the business, into products, into marketing, into your website. So why not invest more in yourself and invest in learning skills that are actually super high leverage, like conversion rate, and go buy a course, go watch some YouTube videos, go hire an agency for that matter. But investing in your own skill sets, it's just another natural progression in your business journey. So that's customer acquisition out the way. Let's talk retention now, because retention is really where you go from being a fish to a shark. So you need to understand this one quote about retention. The one who wins is the one who can pay the most to acquire a customer. So a common thing I see whenever I talk to e-commerce brand owners or whenever we're working with a client is a lot of them will get sucked into this narrative of we need to be making the most amount of money up front as possible whenever we get a new customer through the door, right? We'll focus on return on ad spend. If we can take our return on ad spend from 2 to 5x, that's amazing. But it's a totally wrong way of looking at it. If you do the math, it doesn't really add up and the focus point is completely skewed because you're focusing on acquiring a customer for the least amount of money possible instead of focusing on retaining that customer for the longest time possible. And the longer you can retain a customer, the higher the lifetime value will be, the more profit you'll make from them over the long term, and the more you can pay to acquire a customer up front, right? So just to kind of drill this point home, let's say you have an average order value of $100, right? And your customer acquisition cost right now is $20. You're trying to focus on getting that customer acquisition cost down from $20 to $10 maybe, so you can make an extra $10 in profit up front. What I'm saying you need to do is you need to find a way where you can make that customer come back to you 5 more times over the next 6 to 12 months. And that means that now instead of making $100, you're actually making $500 on that same customer without spending anything more on marketing. So what you can do to increase your customer retention rate is really 3 things. There's email marketing, there's SMS marketing, and then there's a Facebook group, the community aspect platforms. And so once you get wicked good at customer retention, you can start playing a whole different game than all other competitors in your space, because now you know, okay, if I'm acquiring a customer, that customer will be worth $50 upfront, but I know in the next 6 months, that customer will be worth $150, and I'll even on average get them to buy again from me within 14 days. If you can play that game and you have high margins, now you can start paying a lot more to acquire a customer, and you can rapidly ramp up your ad spend, and you'll just outcompete all other competitors because you know now, okay, if I can get a 0.8x return on ad spend on acquiring a new customer, that's amazing for me because within 30 days, I've made all that money back plus a little bit more, and in the next 6 months, I'll triple what they're worth in my business. And who knows, down the line in 12 or 24 months, they'll probably be worth much, much more for your business. So you can start increasing the ceiling for what you can pay to acquire a customer. And that means that you can now go from spending, 100 or 200 or 500 a day or whatever you're spending to literally put a 0 behind your ad spend and just rapidly increase your growth rate. So I'd encourage you to sit down with yourself and spend 20-30 minutes and just kind of map out, okay, where is all my attention going to right now, and where do I actually need to be focusing? What's the main issue in your business right now? Do you just need a ton more customers, or do you already have a ton of customers and you just need them to come back into your business? What's the pitfall for you right now? And then you should be taking action, and you should be shifting your attention and your time towards the income producing activities that will make you the most amount of money for the least effort, right? The highest leverage opportunities. That's what you need to be focusing on as a business owner. And these two things here, customer acquisition and customer retention, in my opinion, and from what I've seen in the last 5 years, that's what the biggest dogs in this space are doing, the ones that are growing the most and the ones that are having the best success. Yeah, either customer acquisition or customer retention. Go focus on that and go make a whole lot of money. If you have any questions about this, feel free to drop any of them down below in the comment section. Also, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.